meeting of the Zion Park District to order January 16th, 2020.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Brown,
Here.
Commissioner Hartman, Commissioner Rivers,
Here.
Commissioner Pye,
Yo.
President McGarrett.
Here. Okay, I would like to entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes from last month's meetings.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the Personnel and Finance Subcommittee meeting and the meeting of the Board of Commissioners, the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Zion Park District dated 19 December 2019.
I second that.
Any further discussion needed? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, so we don't have, our guests have left, so we don't have any more.
One more.
Pardon me? Oh. Okay. So, will we need, an executive?
Oh, yeah, no, we're gonna delete executive session from the agenda.
I'll entertain a motion to amend the agenda as noted with the deletion of the executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion needed? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, any comments from the commissioners this month? Nobody got anything? Okay, reports. Attorney, do we have anything from the attorney?
No.
Okay. The treasurer's report. So I am going to entertain a motion for the unpaid and the paid bills for December.
I make a motion that we approve the total unpaid bills in the amount of $175,609.38 and the total paid bills of $173,370.94 for a December grand total to be approved of $348,980.32.
I second that.
Any additional discussion needed? Okay, Eric?
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
President McGarrett.
Aye. Okay, on to the director's report.
Okay, in addition to my report, I did include in your packet the Joint Legislative Committee breakfast that will be held at the Gurney Park District on February 21st at 8 a.m. I do have to give them a reply, so if you know at this time you'd like to go, that's great. If you don't know whether you can go, you can let me know, but I probably need to know in the next week or so, so I can give them the RSVP.
Nice and close, too.
What day is that?
Friday.
It's a Friday. Okay, so you're a no, Jess?
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna write that down so that I know for sure.
You have me.
Cheryl is a yes. What was the date again?
February 21st.
Are you a no during school day? Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm just gonna, then I know for sure. And Carolyn?
Yeah.
Okay, what you got is a yes. All right. Okay, thank you. And then the other thing was I did put this survey results from ETC's community survey in your packet. And I gave those to you because there's a lot of information in there. And so next month, Christine is going to actually come to the meeting and give us a presentation that we're going to spend some time as a staff, really, because we haven't even done that yet. It's brand new stuff. It just came out before the packets. So I thought better to give it to you and give you some opportunities to really kind of look through it so that, you know, we can have a dialogue when we do that next month.
Thank you.
So make sure you bring that back with you if you think about it, just because I don't want to print more copies because it's such a big document. But, you know, there were positives and negatives, I think, in that report. Some good information. It was unfortunate they really had to stretch to get the 400 responses, which is really a shame because that's the minimum number that they were going to do it for. So that's out of 4,000 that were sent out, 400 were returned. And I wish we would have gotten more response than that, but that's what it was. So we really will spend more time. So please take your time looking through it and write down questions, or if you have thoughts about what it says to you. That's really important that we all take the time to kind of digest that and put our thoughts together. I mean, that's the reason to do it, and to really evaluate what we got from the community, from the time and energy we spent to do this. So just wanted to let you know that. You have a lot of time to really look at that. And the other thing in my report, I was talking about the comprehensive plan and where we're at with that, which this is a piece of, and we probably will be scheduling. I'd like to really next month look at some dates of days that we could do some real deep dives into the information that we have been gathering in our comprehensive plan, so that you all have an input into, we need to prioritize the capital projects and capital items that have been identified in our facility assessments. I think this will give us some ideas of ways that we want to have this influence that list probably, or maybe even change some of those things that are current facilities that were assessed, but things we maybe need to think about. And it's going to behoove us to get that report done in a more timely fashion than what I had originally thought about doing it, because the state grant programs are really interested in us having at least a strategic plan together of what are we going to do going forward, so that they can see that the grant money is going towards something that we've really spent some time thinking about. This is what we need to do for our park district. And so I'm working on that piece now, so that you guys are just aware of where we're at with that whole program. We're going to go ahead with doing the bike trail grant this year. The state was happy with we did it as a recreational trail grant, if you remember last year, and we didn't get approved. And really the state said that was because they had too many projects for the money they had. They said our grant was a good grant. So that was good to hear. All of the people who went for bike trail money were awarded grants. So we're actually going to probably apply for both of those this year, so that we can hopefully get that funding, so that that section over there of Edina Trail can get refurbished. A lot of people use that. There's mention of that in this report. So we're going to hopefully, one way or the other, get those grant dollars in place. So that's pretty much.
But this meeting you're talking about is a meeting between the staff and the board, correct?
Yes.
And it's going to be
Yes, I'd like to
half-day
have
or
the staff.
something?
Yeah, I'd like to have the staff and the administrative staff and the board, and then I think I'm going to have a consultant there to help drive that conversation, so that we're all participating in it instead of me leading it or somebody else leading it. Having a consultant that can help us, you know, stay on task and not get bogged down in one item or another, but really work together to really start strategizing our direction and taking all this information together and really making it useful for all of us. So,
will you be sending out possible dates to see
Yeah, so
available?
I interviewed one possible consultant for us. I have another one that I'd like to talk to so that I have comparison of two different people. And so once I make that decision, I think that'll help drive like when that might happen. And so maybe even before the next meeting, I will send something out to try and get some dates set up. I guess, you know, we could do evenings, we could do a Saturday. I guess it depends on what people's availability is. So I'll do like a, what do they call those? Doodle.
Oh,
Maybe a doodle
yeah.
poll with dates and times so
Right.
people can really, you know, say what works for them. But yeah, that is coming. I just want you guys to be prepared for that because I think that, you know, this is the exciting part for me. This is like when we can bring this all together and really see a strategy to go forward and to really make a big difference. Okay? Okay, that's it.
Did you, one of you were even saying you can help us with?
Oh, yeah, the Stranded Nuclear Act. I didn't give you one of those, Rick. It was,
That one.
yeah, yeah, Brad Schneider was, and he had several legislators that joined him in putting that legislation forward. And so it is out there to be looked at by the House, and so that's a really good thing. That's going to bring some money into this community if it gets passed. You know, this is the first step. Well, it's not really the first step because we had this step once before, but with this Congress now, this is the first step. There are a lot more co-signers to it, which is big. That's really helpful on both sides of the aisle. So it would be awesome if that could get done, even in the next couple of years. It would make a big difference for us to have some capital improvement dollars, I think, some operating dollars from that funding. It'd be good for this community as a whole. All of the taxing bodies would benefit greatly. So,
Okay. Anything else?
nope, that's it.
Okay. No questions, we will move on to new business. First one is the NRPA annual membership.
Yes, and I just realized that there's no dollar amount on here. Remember what it is? No.
No, that's the other one.
Yeah.
Let me look at.
Let's say, where would it be? It shows that it had some attachments, I don't know if it's on the attachments of the
Yeah.
email.
No, that was the
Oh.
attachment was the list of people who are on
Oh,
our
okay.
roster.
Let me go look.
Yeah, would you? Because I would like to put a dollar amount with it. Sorry, I didn't even realize that it wasn't on here. That's a good thing to recognize right in the middle of the meeting. It's a key factor.
I'll take this opportunity to hydrate.
Okay.
Gives us an opportunity to yawn. Pause for a yawn.
Yeah, and it's just not coming to me off the top of my head what that dollar amount is.
request, is that what he's doing?
He's looking to see how much it was last year, and it didn't change, and I know that.
Let's see, that's Did you just do the check request?
No, he's looking at last year's. I didn't do the check request yet.
Last year was 850.
850, yeah, I think that's what it is again this year. So $850. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Did you want to have anything to say about before we take a vote?
I just think that it's valuable for us for $850. I think, you know, we get a lot of good written materials from them to look at, you know, read articles about. The staff get the staff and any board members that go on the national conference, that's a reduced rate. We probably make it up in that. So I just think it's valuable for us to be part of that organization. That's our business.
If there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve to renew the membership of $850 for NRPA for this year.
So moved.
Second.
You second it? Okay. Eric?
Commissioner Rivers,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
President McGarrow.
Aye. Okay, the next one, the conference expenses.
Okay, as you remember, we had to do this as part of the state legislature passed some laws, so we have to make the approval for conference expenses. The current policy allows for travel compensation for costs incurred during authorized work-related travel, meetings, seminars, and conferences. So the known cost for this conference is the registration fees, which those have been taken care of. And then transportation by train, cab, or car, and parking fees are allowed. Meal allowances at the daily rate of $50 for a full day away, or $10 breakfast, $15 lunch, $25 dinner. For anyone who is in attendance on Friday, we take everyone out together for lunch. Currently, our practice has not been to cover overnight accommodations for this conference. I recommend that we continue that practice. The above expenditures will be a reimbursement basis with receipts required within 3 days of return from the conference or Tuesday, January 28th, unless staff have a district credit card to use for expenditures as outlined above, which I review all of those expenditures, so they're reviewed by me to make sure that they're not outside of the allowed amounts. And then there is a form to be filled out on return with the receipts, so that we have documentation of that.
Any questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have to make the motion, or I have to say it first, Jesse. I entertain a motion for approval of expenditures for conference expenses as stated in this document.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Eric. Oh wait, any more discussion needed? Okay, Eric.
Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Rivers, Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
President McGarrow.
Aye. Okay. Resolution 871.
Okay, so I didn't state this as well in my report as I should have. The state legislature in Illinois passed a law stating that as a government agency, we had to include elected officials and harassment against other elected officials into our sexual harassment policy. So this resolution is in regards to that state law passing, and we need to pass this by February, so it really needs to happen this month. So Ansel Glink put together the policy as stated in the state law, what is required to be in the policy. And when we go through the anti-harassment policy, this has already been included in this policy, so, and with the updates that were given to us by Padermo for that policy. But this, in and of itself, had to be passed as a resolution by this body.
So any commissioners have any questions?
There's a procedure for a complaint, so it's taken out of the board's hands and given to an attorney, an outside attorney, if there is a complaint, so that it is taken care of, you know, without any conflict of interest amongst this body. And so I think they, at least, that's a good thing, that, you know, it's set up very specifically like that, so that there's no concerns or fear of people not bringing up an issue of harassment.
Any questions by the commissioners?
I had some earlier, but I think I want to read it a little bit more, just to understand it a little bit more. Because it says Zion Park District, but you said this is statewide, so it's for all the park districts.
Yes, every park district is required to do this because of state law.
So I was just going by some of the stuff that we were learning at some of our conferences, some of the courses that I took pertaining to this, and just trying to understand the law.
Yeah, this is new. This is
Yeah.
brand new, so it has to be passed by this body, governing body, by, like I said, February. So IAPD sent this out to make sure to remind park district directors that this had to be done according to state law, so.
So just for clarification, because Park District already has a policy in place, this is adding the specifics of elected officials and who's the independent reviewer of complaints.
Right, and so it's a resolution though, in and of itself,
Correct.
because to meet the requirements of the law. And then it's also included in the policy, because we already have a policy, it needs to be in there. So it's dual. So that had to be updated. So first we have to pass it, and then we'll do the updated policy.
Okay. Any questions before I entertain a motion? I'll entertain a motion to pass resolution, or to approve a resolution 871.
So moved.
Do we need to read anything further?
Yeah, somebody read it further. The top line. Jesse, can you read it as your motion?
As resolution adopting a policy for handling complaints of sexual harassment made by elected officials against other elected officials.
Thank you.
A second? Any further discussion needed? Eric?
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers, Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
President McGarrett.
Aye. Okay, so now we're doing some other policy updates. This will be 3 separate motions that will be meeting
Right.
on this.
Okay. So equal employment opportunity policy, we do have this in place currently. This is an update from Paderma. And basically, the language in the first paragraph is where there's a lot of change with this, and it just includes a greater number of individuals with an actual or perceived, which is a change to the policy also, race, color, religion, sex, gender, including gender identity and expression, age, national origin, citizenship status, ancestry, marital status, veteran status, disability, sexual orientation, genetic information, unfavorable discharge from the military or military status, civil union partnership, order of protection status, pregnancy, childbirth, or medical condition related to pregnancy or childbirth, or any other protected characteristic as established by law. So obviously this the law has changed in including this larger number of individuals that are identified, and so that's why this equal employment opportunity policy, which we took directly from PDERMA, is an update to a policy currently in our employee manual that we need to update.
Any questions?
Yeah, why does it say draft dash 117?
Why does it say where?
12 dash 117.
Where does it say that?
Is he looking at the right one?
Very, very bottom.
Oh, that's because it's from PDERMA, and so we took the policy from them. I'll take that off when we approve the policy. It won't say that in
Okay.
our, we just took the policy from PDERMA, so that just shows you that where I got it from. That'll come off of there when it's approved as our policy.
Any other questions?
See at the very bottom, it shows that they're drafts of PDERMA.
Below the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Footer.
This one, it just kind of looks like it all goes together.
Oh, it's below the line.
Okay.
The other ones are easier to see.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the equal employment opportunity policy update as stated for the employment policies and procedures of the Zion Park District.
So moved.
Any further discussion needed? Eric?
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers, President McGarrett.
Aye. Okay, the next one, the
Non-discrimination and anti-harassment policy. Again, we have this policy in our employee manual, but it is updated to include the information from the Resolution 871 that we just passed. And they have expanded a little bit from the policy that we had previously, but the policy that we had previously was a PDERMA policy also. So just adding the non-discrimination to this. It used to just be the harassment policy. Now it's non-discrimination and harassment. So, you know, it's the information that we were covering with the staff. It's just expanded a little bit in this policy. So really appropriate for updating. I'm thinking that the last time that policy was updated was quite a number of years ago. So PDERMA was just taking care of us as, you know, a member of that organization, and it's very specifically laid out. It had very specific information in it on how to deal with harassment for employees in any situation. I go through this with the staff once a year, which is a requirement also, and so that's pretty much what it's about.
Any questions? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the updated policy for non-discrimination and anti-harassment policy for the Zion Park District.
Second.
Any further discussion needed? Eric?
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Rivers, President McGarrett.
Aye. Okay, now for the last one.
So the last one is called VESA, Victims Economic Security and Safety Act. This is a policy that we have not had in our employment policy manual, and so this is something that we needed to get in there. This is new legislation also. So really, it is similar to FMLA leave. It's a 12-week leave policy that is in place for someone who is a victim of abuse by their spouse, or in a situation where they need to seek medical attention because of physical, psychological, threatened domestic violence, gender violence, and for themselves or a household member. If someone is obtaining services from a victims organization, counseling for any kind of violence against them as a person related to really, interactions based on gender, based on abuse, and it's actual or threatened domestic, sexual, or gender violence. So, again, we didn't have this policy in place, but we need to have this policy in place similar to the FMLA. It's 12 weeks of leave, and it's
Unpaid leave.
unpaid leave,
But their
right.
job is
But their
safe.
job is secured for the 12 weeks, similar to FMLA. So it's a really similar policy that they made specifically for victims of abuse. It's state, again, the state legislature passes it, and so we should have it in place, and we didn't have it in place, so we need to get it in our policies.
Any questions before I entertain a motion? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the Victims Economic Security and Safety Act for the Zion Park District.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion needed? Eric?
Commissioner Rivers,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye,
aye.
President McGarrah.
Aye. Okay. So, we're not having an executive session, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Oh. So moved.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried, we're adjourned.
I got